Our planet's balance is under threat. Join us as we explore the world's 15 most polluted countries, uncovering the causes, consequences, and the human stories behind the headlines. In Nigeria's Niger Delta, oil has brought wealth and devastation. Rivers once teeming with life are now poisoned by spills, and gas flaring pollutes the air. Yet, local activists fight for clean water, air, and a sustainable future. South Africa is a land of striking contrasts, where breathtaking natural beauty coexists with some of the continent's most pressing environmental challenges. From the iconic silhouette of Table Mountain rising above Cape Town, to the rolling hills and vast plains that stretch across the country, South Africa's landscapes are as diverse as they are stunning. Yet, beneath this surface of natural wonder, a more complex story unfolds, one that reveals the hidden costs of progress and the urgent need for change. South Africa relies heavily on coal to power its cities and industries, making it the largest emitter of greenhouse gases on the African continent. The country's dependence on coal has fueled economic growth and provided jobs, but it has also come at a steep environmental price. Massive coal-fired power plants dominate the landscape, their smokestacks releasing thick plumes of pollution into the air. Nowhere is this impact more visible than in Mpumalanga, a region blanketed by a persistent haze. Here, the air is thick with pollutants, and the health of local communities is under constant threat. Residents face increased risks of respiratory illnesses, while the region's water sources are also at risk from industrial runoff and contamination. Acid mine drainage, a toxic byproduct of decades of mining, seeps into rivers and streams, turning once clear waters a sickly orange and poisoning aquatic life. This pollution not only devastates ecosystems, but also endangers the people who rely on these rivers for drinking water, farming, and fishing. But amid these challenges, hope is rising. Across South Africa, a growing movement is embracing renewable energy. Solar farms glint in the sun, wind turbines spin on the horizon, and communities are coming together to demand a cleaner, healthier future. The fight for a sustainable South Africa is gaining momentum, offering a vision of progress that protects both people and the planet. Tehran's smog and Iran's dust storms are fueled by traffic, industry, and climate change. The government's emergency measures like closing schools highlight the crisis. Efforts to restore wetlands and promote cleaner fuels are underway, but economic pressures complicate progress. Ulaanbaatar's winter air is among the world's worst, as families burn raw coal to survive the cold. The resulting smog endangers children's health. The government distributes cleaner fuels and works to modernize heating. But poverty and infrastructure gaps remain the core challenge. India's megacities, like Delhi, are vibrant hubs of culture, commerce, and innovation, but they also face immense challenges. Among the most pressing is air pollution, which has reached crisis levels in recent years. The thick gray haze that often blankets the city is a result of a complex mix of factors. Millions of vehicles crowding the roads, relentless industrial activity, and the seasonal burning of crop residue in surrounding states. For many residents, simply stepping outside means breathing in air that can be hazardous to their health. Children wear masks to school, and the city's iconic landmarks are often shrouded in smog. Yet, amid these daunting problems, India is also a land of remarkable progress and hope. Across the country, vast solar farms are rising from the earth, harnessing the power of the sun to provide clean energy to millions. In rural villages, workers install solar panels, bringing electricity to places that once relied on polluting fuels. At the same time, India's deep spiritual traditions foster a reverence for nature, seen in rituals along the Ganges River, even as pollution threatens these sacred waters. The nation stands at a crossroads, striving to bridge its ancient respect for the environment with the demands of rapid modernization. The challenge is immense, but so is the potential, to forge a future where development and environmental stewardship go hand in hand, creating a cleaner, healthier India for generations to come. Indonesia's rainforests are set ablaze for palm oil, creating toxic haze across Southeast Asia. and releasing massive carbon emissions. Peatland fires threaten endangered species and global climate. The government's moratoriums and restoration efforts face an uphill battle against economic pressures. Deforestation in Brazil's Amazon destroys habitats, pollutes air and rivers, and threatens indigenous communities. International aid and conservation efforts depend on Brazil's political will. The Amazon's fate is a global concern, with climate and biodiversity at stake. In the last few decades, China has experienced an economic transformation unlike any other in modern history. Towering factories, sprawling cities, and a relentless drive for growth have lifted millions out of poverty and turned China into the world's manufacturing powerhouse. But this rapid industrialization has come at a steep cost. Severe air pollution, toxic waterways, and cities often shrouded in thick, hazardous smog. For years, the skies over major cities like Beijing and Shanghai were choked with pollution, making it difficult to breathe and threatening the health of millions of citizens. As the environmental crisis deepened, public frustration grew. Citizens took to the streets, wearing face masks and demanding cleaner air. Social media buzzed with images of smog-filled skylines and stories of children suffering from respiratory illnesses. The government, once focused solely on economic growth, could no longer ignore the mounting pressure. In response, Chinese leaders declared a nationwide war on pollution, promising sweeping reforms and stricter enforcement of environmental laws. The results have been dramatic. Billions of dollars have been invested in renewable energy projects, making China a global leader in wind and solar power. Coal plants have been shuttered, and new regulations have forced industries to clean up their act. In cities like Beijing, air quality has noticeably improved, with more blue sky days and healthier living conditions for residents. The transformation is visible not just in the air, but in the attitudes of people and policymakers alike. China's journey is a powerful reminder that even the most daunting environmental challenges can be overcome when political will aligns with public demand. Through a combination of government action, technological innovation, and grassroots involvement, China is rewriting its environmental story, proving that progress and sustainability can go hand in hand. Pakistan's crisis is water, scarce, polluted, and vital. Rivers are choked with sewage and chemicals, endangering health and wildlife. International aid supports water treatment and conservation, but climate change and governance challenges threaten the nation's future. Bangladesh faces extreme pollution and climate change. Dhaka's air and rivers are toxic, while rising seas and storms threaten millions. Yet, the country leads in climate adaptation, cleaning rivers and building resilience with international support. Chad's air is choked with dust from the Baudelaire Depression, making it the world's most polluted country by particulate matter. Desertification and climate change drive colossal dust storms, harming health and agriculture. Solutions require global cooperation to restore land and manage water. Iraq's environment bears the scars of war. Depleted uranium, oil fires, and broken infrastructure have poisoned air, water, and soil. As stability returns, efforts to rebuild and clean up are underway, but the legacy of conflict lingers. Kyrgyzstan's mountains hide radioactive waste from Soviet uranium mining. Unstable tailings threaten regional water supplies. International efforts are securing sites, but the toxic legacy endangers generations across Central Asia. Afghanistan's decades of conflict have shattered environmental governance. Kabul's air is toxic from burning scrap for heat, and water is polluted. Deforestation and mismanagement deepen poverty, making environmental recovery nearly impossible without peace. The Aral Sea's disappearance left a toxic desert, spreading pesticide-laden dust and collapsing local economies. Uzbekistan's massive greening project aims to stabilize the land and prevent further disaster. A lesson in the cost of environmental mismanagement. Pollution's story is global, woven from industry poverty and climate change. Understanding and action are our first steps. Join us, subscribe, and and be part of the movement to restore our planet's fragile balance.